like, listen, you know, you have to be aware of the fact that, like, people are watching you, and, you know, you have to make sure that you act right. My mother always used to tell me, do not embarrass me.
I think that's every black.
That's every black parent. But I know what that means now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I represent more than just her. Like, even as an adult.
True. I was with my parents the other day, and they were talking about, because I went to go do my whole lease thing, and my pants were falling, so they're like, pick up your pants. And I'm like, I'm sorry that you guys did not gift me with an ass to then be able to, like, sustain my pants right now. But that's not my fault. You know, it's not like I'm over here, you know, having them like half down with a belt.
Right.
Like, that annoys me. It's like you wearing a Gucci belt that was worth like $400, $500, but your pants still on the ground. Like, what are you doing? You know, and I told them, I remember explaining something like, you know, they would say that all the time. Like, they would be like, you know, don't slide your pants, and that, third. And I remember my mom gave me hell one day. I told her this. I was like, there was one day I was coming through the door, and my pants was like, I just had too much stuff in my pockets. I had too much stuff in my pockets, and I think I had to like go to the bathroom. So I was like, my pants is coming off anyways, whatever. So I get through the door, and I'm unlocking the door, and she's like, did you know your pants like this the whole time? I was like, Mom, just now I'm running up the stairs, I gotta pee, my pants is coming off, I don't care. Like, you know, and you know, that was always a thing for her. Because she didn't want me to essentially perpetuate the stereotype of being a thug or being, you know, just some hoodlum. You know what I mean? And I get that. I completely understand that. But, like, those conversations are very, like, I would love to sit down and figure out what are the conversations you have with your, even if you're not white, what are your conversations with someone who doesn't have to go through that?
Let me make a comment on what you said earlier about raising children. You're supposed to raise your children to do things with integrity, whether there's a consequence to it or not. I was always taught to do the right thing, and so you would want to teach them to do that. And keep in mind, you do the right thing not because there are consequences, because there are, but because you know it's the right thing. You know what I mean? You teach your kids how to fight in one way or another. Because as black people, that is primarily what we do. That's our experience. We are either prone to violence or opposition socially, economically, financially, politically. Like, we have to learn to teach our kids how to fight. And to answer the question about how you would have conversations with those kinds of conversations with people who are not, like, what was it, white? Who are not black?
Who are just not, even if you are someone of color, but you've never experienced, I don't know, because I don't think, like, to some degree, I feel like those who have made it, like the kids of, you know, of a certain level of celebrity, don't necessarily go through that. Maybe they do, who knows? I'm sure they do, but not with the same, let me not even say that, you know what I mean? Because I think that's me saying, like, your struggle is not as great as mine.
Not fair to say.
And it's not fair to say. But what I'm ultimately asking is, like, what would be the other side of that conversation with your kids? You know what I mean? Like, these are the conversations that our parents have instilled in us and given us and have, like, you know, drilled into us essentially since we were young. What essentially would be the conversation if we never, you know, had to have that conversation?
Oh my God, I think it would still be the same. I mean, not because of the racial kind of like undertones of not doing well or doing what you need to do, just you would want to teach your kids to be honest and do things with integrity, like tell the truth, be respectful, wear your clothes appropriately, don't look this way, because they have effects on not just us as black people, but us as people. Like, if I had a daughter and she wasn't dressed appropriately, it doesn't matter if she was black or white, you're still dressed inappropriately.
Right.
You get me?
Yeah.
Where are your manners, or where is your home training, or where are like any parts of decency that you were like instilled? Like you have to teach your children
Basic
basic human decency. Unfortunately for black people, you have to teach that to them, not only just for them to be a good person, but for them to be a good black person. Like there's racial undertones to it, so it now has double the importance because we're black and we still have to raise a decent child.
Right.
I don't know. It scares me a little bit to think that like one day I'm going to have to try to explain to my racial kids the reasons why they need to.
Like I'm already a trifecta of Black, Puerto Rican, Native American.
All right.
So that's a whole like lot of. I don't want to call it baggage. There's definitely a better word than baggage. But there's a whole lot. That's a whole lot to basically unpack for your kids and be like, listen, you were here before they got here, and they stripped you of your lands and your, everything. Mm-hmm. You were taken away from your homeland, and essentially like, we're treated like less than dirt. At,
3/5 of a man, was it?
3/5. And then you have, on the other side where like even now like the prime example of what it is not even to be like a black man or a Native American man, like being a man from the Bronx, from Puerto Rico, like my family has so much culture on both sides of my family from there.
Yeah.
And seeing everything that's happened with the hurricane and just how like, we're not gonna care. Like y'all take care of that. And it's like, but you're so quick to like build a resort and be all, use us to import, export, do all this other shit.
Use our dollar to spend it on the economy.
But yet, like, you put us in so much debt and you have us at like such a standstill, with everything right now, that it's like, do you really even care? And they don't. You have to accept that to a very serious, great degree, they don't care.